What's poppin' my bitches? It's been a hot minute since my last Good Smile Vocaloid video, but truth be told, I've had plans for a long time to rank more than just the Nindoroids, so why not start with the figmas? Something I also don't own, but wish I do? Think of them as the stepping stone between Nindoroids and regular full-scale figures, because they were superposable and come with different faces and hands, but could easily pass for regular figurines at first glance. So even if they were not as popular as Nindoroids as far as I know, I think they were just as neat, so I'm more than happy to give them a video. Also, I only have to worry about the cryptoids this time, meaning this is technically a PA-Pro ranking, not a Vocaloid one, but I know you don't care. Ignoring Project Sekai, Synthvi's running circles around them nowadays anyway, but even that can't change my everlasting love for them. Now for a slight disclaimer, because if you've seen my Nindoroid videos, you know my opinions on the character designs themselves, but like the Nindoroids, some of these figmas execute the looks really well, while others don't do the looks justice, as you'll see with my bottom picks, because there's 42 of these figmas to talk about, but 2 of them are equally so bad that they were tied for last place. May I present to you the Kagamine Rin and Len figmas. I should give Good Smile the benefit of the doubt because they're figmas number 19 and 20, but Miku's first figma was 14th, and even she's not as blocky and awkward. These 2 look like unfinished Project Diva models, and I mean the original Project Diva game, but I also feel like I'm being too mean to them because they're so bad it's hilarious, but then I feel fine insulting them again cause they're so darn ugly. I just can't take them or their hollow eyes or that stupid little microphone seriously at all. Also, did I mention that these are Rin and Len's only figmas? Even the V4X updates couldn't make the cut, and I just want to know what the figma making priorities are over in Tokyo, because these 2 so badly need an update that is a straight up federal offense. Can we get #justice for the Kagamine Ace in the comments please? 40. Snow Miku, Snowbell version. Surprise surprise, I still think she's the worst Snow Miku. I know she has her fans, but I'm sorry, I just can't stand this design, and the more I look at it, the worse it gets. It feels like it'd work on an arts and crafts styled Christmas decoration, and nothing else, let alone video games and vinyl or clay figures. But I think it's a bit worse as a figma than an Nindoroid because a bigger body equals more space for the pedal dress to awkwardly fill. Plus the Nendo has more emphasis on the flowery aspect. And here, the big leaf doesn't have water dripping down, the musical note isn't as vibrant, and there's no plant to sit on, so what's the point? I'm also not really a fan of these expressions or Rabbit Chukin's outfit either, so I will happily move on and be done with her for good. 39. Racing Miku, 2021 version, and look at that. The other worst Miku from an annual collection, and now that I know she's meant to be a waitress like I mentioned in my last Nindoroid video, I can confidently say the figma counterpart's also worse, because nothing about it plays into the theme, where at least the Nindoroid can look like she's taking an order, but she has an umbrella. Big fucking deal. So does almost every other racing Miku, and I don't care if this one can wear the goggles over her eyes, doesn't change how trashy the rest of the design is. 38. Racing Miku 2014, Eevee Mirai version, because instead of just doing one Racing Miku figma for every year, some of them get an extra figma to represent different types of racing, and 2014's looks like she's part of a thirst trap motorcycle advert instead of an actual race, which yeah, is kinda the point of the Racing Mikus, but I'm not a fan of this outfit aside from the jacket and boots, and the on-the-line bonus had a smiling face that looks in a slightly different direction than this one. Lame plus L plus ratio plus SFA2 Mickey did it better. 37. Snow Miku, Magical Snow version, because this is not a Miku, I had to say it. She looks way too young to be 16, so it feels more like they tried to make this Snow Miku into an original wannabe Snow Witch character instead, for some reason. Plus the outfit's as average as ever, there's only one book, and the only cool mystical part is the staff effect. At least Rabbit Chukin looks the same, but is she really a challenge to change from Nindoroid to figma? Cause I don't think so. 36. Racing Miku 2020 version. Still not really a fan of this design, but I think it looks best on a figma with this sorta rigid almost blocky style, and I like the expressions, but that's all I have to say about it. 35. Hatsune Miku. That's right. Her first figma is actually pretty okay to me. Even after the comparison with Rin and Len, I'd say she had a perfectly fine start considering the inevitable early figma look. Still a little awkward and otherwise not that special, so there's no reason to buy her unless you have a collection to complete, I guess. or you just really want her just because. I'm not judging. 34. Racing Miku 2011 First Win version / Racing Miku 2011 version returns. That's right, it's 2011 Racing Miku, as mid as ever, but this design's definitely better fit for the non-chibi world, and I like how they gave her a blushing winning face and trophy, because Good Smile won their first racing championship since the Krypton partnership in their second year. I should also probably mention that this Figma got released twice, but the only difference is that the second one came with 2 trophies. Wow, so worth an agonizing 2-year gap. 33. Racing Miku 2015 version. I know this is really shocking considering how much I adore this design, but this is not a great Figma. I'm especially not a fan of what they did with the bangs. Why are they so thick and weird? And even with the slightly better pigtails and metallic paint, so much of the regality and elegance I love is just gone. Even the parasol looks way too plain. How is this possible? It just doesn't feel right, but I would have absolutely put it in the top 10 if it came with that metallic unicorn. Hashtag justice for Racing Miku 2015 unicorn. 32. Racing Miku 2015 Team Wakilio support version. Woohoo! Bicycling time. There's 2 Team Wakilio support Figmas, and they're not that special, but I still kinda like the outfits, and in this case, how this crown matches the colors. But I seriously don't get how Miku's hair looks so much better here than the main Figma. Were different teams in charge of them? 31. Racing Miku 2016 Team Wakilio support version. She automatically wins because more colorful hair, and better expressions, plus a water bottle. Stay hydrated. But the Good Smile website doesn't show a picture of the bike alone like 2015's, or disclaimers that the actual bikes might differ. So can anyone who owns them tell me if the warning should be here too, or was the bike just made better that year? I'm curious. 30. Racing Miku 2012 version. As much as I enjoy this design too, it wasn't carried over well either, I'm afraid, and the faces kinda freak me out. So my favorite thing here is automatically the flag, because I believe in black and pink supremacy, and it reminds me of World Is Mine and Romeo and Cinderella. Oh, and there's champagne too, because who needs trophies again when you can have something you're forever too young to drink? Where's Mako when you need her? 29. Hatsune Miku cheerful version. Betcha didn't think Miku got a cheerful Figma too, did ya? And I just want to know why. Because sure, more products means more relief effort support, but this feels too much like the Nindoroid in the sense that it's just like the original Figma with some extra crap. 28. Racing Miku 2013 version. I'm not ashamed to say this is a pretty good Figma. It's technically just a copy and paste of the 2D reference with nothing too special to add, but it helped me realize something. The design is just best fit for figures that do just that with a sleek metallic shine, so it's a needed step up that's just nice to look at. No offense to the Nindoroid, but this Racing Miku isn't meant for a chibi body. I don't know why, but it just isn't. But the Figma also likes showing off how tight and curvy the lead art is. 27. Mako. Hey, there she is, and she looks properly mature and tough this time. The expressions are decent too, but she's otherwise pretty plain. Like where's the alcohol, and that drunk face, and the extra pizzazz usually found in the other Cryptoids figures. Maybe it's just because this is her V1 look and I'm so used to her and Kaito's V3 designs being used all the time now, mostly cause Krypton fully owns them now, but I sadly can only label this Figma as just good, so she too is well overdue for an update. In fact, sorry for spoilers, but you probably caught on to this already, Miku's the only Cryptoid with more than one Figma, so forget hashtag justice for the Kagamines or even hashtag justice for Mako, hashtag justice for everyone other than Miku. 26. Racing Miku 2018 version. This Racing Miku's honestly grown on me a bit since the first Nindoroid video, and like 2013 Racing Miku, the Figma's a bit better than I expected it to be. Something about this look also feels like it works best here, from the costume details to the expressions to that sense of regality that 2015's Figma just sadly lacked. But don't let the silly faces fool you, this Miku demands respect, and you're gonna give it to her. 25. Racing Miku 2022 version. Another big glow up, except I still really like the Nindoroid too. But as much as I like this Racing Miku's more serious looks compared to the others, the Figma gives her the room to really have fun and be herself, plus a really cool face shield and an even bigger flag. But I haven't been this creeped out by such a cold piercing stare since Symphony Rin and Len, so I can't put her any higher. 24. Snow Miku, Snow Parade version, another one that's grown on me over time. I like the Nindoroid's brighter colors and expressions better, but the Figma has this cool prop for the French horn and gave Rabbit Chukina dog face, so sure, I guess that makes them equal. 23. Sakura Miku. Alright, riddle me this. How come every Sakura Miku either has the standard hairbands but flower chains replacing her usual headphones, or giant cherries for hairbands but the same headphones set? Why can't we have the flowers and cherries together? But even if this Figma just has the cherries and doesn't have some of the same accessories and charm as the Nindoroids, it's still pretty, and cute, and pretty cute, and she still has the signature foods, along with a camera this time. Not sure what for, but go off I guess. 22. Snow Miku, Crane Priestess version. This one doesn't have as many accessories as an Nindoroid, and the bell strings aren't actual strings this time, but it has whatever this is, and she still has that mysterious elegance to her like a real crane, which is of course important. 21. Hatsune Miku, Sailor Uniform version. I didn't expect this Miku to get a Figma either, but the Figma gives this design a nice much needed new look. It's also a bit flowery, but now there's even more of a soft vintage feeling, even without the display kit backgrounds. But the teary-eyed face is a bit too dopey and laughable without this glary. 20. Hatsune Miku V4X. Yes, they skipped over V3 Miku, but there's no petty excuse this time. Still, this Figma's nice and reflective. It even comes with its shiny blue guitar. No glasses this time, but there's a microphone now. 19. Hatsune Miku V4 Chinese. Now take those nice and shiny qualities and apply them to the Chinese voice bank design. Not only that, but give her a classic microphone, a pretty parasol, and cute buns. But as good as the V4 Figmas are, I can't be the only one who thinks they're a little skinnier than the other Figmas, right? These Mikus need some meat on their bones. 18. Hatsune Miku 2.0. See, Miku can get her default look updated twice, but not her friends. Either way, this is admittedly a really nice Figma. She looks great, has some neat faces, and comes with a cool guitar and these epic pairs of serif wings. I just didn't realize there was this much of a pattern with certain Nindoroids until I started writing this script, which is probably intentional, but still a little weird, but also kinda fun as long as they change things up between them like this. 17. Racing Miku 2019 version. She's still adorable, and that's all I ask her to be, but I'd say it's fair to call her the reverse 2013 Racing Miku, because the idol inspiration is perfect for chibi bodies like the Nindoroid, but not quite as good with regular anime-style body types. 16. Racing Miku 2013, Eevee Mirai version. Believe it or not, the 2013 cycling Miku is actually dressed like she's going for a race. I simply adore this design because it's so cool and tough without losing the cuteness Miku is known for. And her helmet has cat ears. Can't get more awesome than that. But the motorcycle's sold separately. 15. Snow Miku. Oh great, it's the first Snow Miku, the recolor that started it all. But look a bit closer, silly head. They started with Snow Playtime Miku. Notice the earmuffs, mittens and scarf. And look at this cute little snowman she comes with. But that's not the only reason why she made it into the top 15. I can't really explain why, but this Figma's just really good at pulling the design off. It might just be all the shiny silver and the way the hair's painted, but I'd put her on display in my room, maybe even use her as a Christmas decoration if my family would tolerate it. 14. Snow Miku, Fluffy Coat version. She's always superior to the first two Snow Mikus, but you should already know that by now. So even if her Figma's not as cool, it's still pretty adorable and she's still got that shovel. That way she can suffer with you next time you have to deal with snow on your steps and driveway. 13. Racing Miku 2016 version. I firmly believe that this Racing Miku will always look appealing, so why wouldn't I want to put her in some dynamic poses to give her an extra breeze to flow through? I've said every other nice thing I could about her in the first Nindoroid video, so I'll leave it at that because that's how awesome she is. 12. Kaido. Ladies, I'm sure we've all learned that we can put all our best efforts into making it big and 100% qualifying for a job, but some random ass dude won't put in as much effort and get chosen over us anyway. Well, what we didn't realize is that by random ass dude, they were talking about Kaido, but that's totally understandable because he means that much to me. Even if this is about his Figma and not his voice, I still can't say no to these faces, and even the Ura interface is pretty normal looking. I also like how there's two scarves depending on how distracting you want it to be, but they're equally weird to me anyway, but not in bad ways. Apologies for making no damn sense right now, but if this will be Kaito's only Figma until the end of time, I won't mind that much. Not that it should be. 11. Snow Miku, certain winter version. Why did she not make the top 10 if she's one of my favorite Snow Mikus? Relax, I still love her and her giant paintbrush, and I appreciate how they gave the design slightly more complexity, but it's also just a teensy bit too thick at the same time, you know. Still really well made and pretty, but something's just a bit off. Also, why does Rabbit Yukine look so dead? Not just inside, she looks like she's been taxidermied. 10. Snow Miku, Twinkle Snow version. Now for a design I don't like as much, but wow, is this a really nice Figma. Like Michael Rosen levels of nice.
Nice.
Mostly thanks to the faces and accessories. Sure, the Figma itself does the Nendoroid justice, but there's a bit of a different focus on the night sky theme here. There might be a regular music sheet stand instead of music note constellations this time, but her conducting wand has a magic starry effect here, so it gives me the feeling she's bringing the music to life like the Nendo already has. There's also the nice little lantern, but my favorite part is this giant crescent moon. No other Figma is something this big and cool to go with it, so it's more unexpected uniqueness I love to see. 9. Racing Miku 2014 version. Another Racing Miku who's always awesome no matter what, but now her tires are even cooler. The hair's still nice and flowy too, even if it's a bit bulky here. I just don't get why she needs 2 umbrellas, or her panties to be that small. 8. Meigu Rine Luca. She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Even if her eyes look a little less than ideal, but who gives a shit because I obviously don't. She's as pretty and shiny as any Luca merch should be, and there's no Taco Luca this time, but we do get Uma-san. Yeah, I didn't know that fish had a name until I started making this video. I just don't think the plastic is as flexible as the website claims, so that skirt is mostly gonna stay in the same mid-motion pose, which is cool until you want her to stand still. But why would you want to suck the fun out of having Figmas? Still an awesome Luca figure though. 7. Snow Miku, glowing snow version. Guess who's back in all her adorability? I'm running out of good introductions, but we're getting to the Snow Mikus that look amazing no matter their size, and the Figma's bigger size gives her an extra sense of classic Christmassy beauty along with the cuteness, especially the dress and wings, so there's even more of the subtle clock-like approach with gentle angelic purity for me to love. 6. Hatsune Miku, a pen version. Of course she's this high up again. The hair is still light and translucent, the gradient effects on the limbs are gorgeously done, and you can still do this with the tie, but I don't know how to feel about this face. She's already got the one with closed eyes like the box art, so why make this in the first place? 5. Hatsune Miku, live stage version. This might be labeled as just an extension of the first Miku Figma, but trust me when I say there's a lot more to it than you think. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but it already looks a bit less polygonish than the first one, but if that and this keyboard aren't enough for ya, take a look at this. I just find it so fascinating and, well, VOCALOID like to do, especially the early era this was made in, plus more wings, but this time more cybernetic and with a bit of color to them. So now you too can make Miku have the time of her life playing around on a little stage for such adoring fans like you. Oh right, this was a limited edition release for Wonderfest, damn it. Oh wait, right, I was forgetting something. If this doesn't convince you this is Miku's best Figma, I don't know what will, except it isn't, because there's still 4 more in this video to cover. But she was number 1 at first because this cool special edge really had me wishing I could own it. But I didn't want to be a hypocrite because Figma still improved a lot over time, and his fun is recognizable as Miku is by default. Some of her other designs are just too good to ever fail in my eyes. Case in point. 4. Racing Miku 2017 version. There will never be a better Racing Miku, simply because I also believe in fairy supremacy, even if it's the last Racing Miku anyone would guess has to do with racing without that logo. But it's definitely a Miku fairy without taking away her futuristic theme, and if you want to pop those wings off, you can give her this nice back bow to make up for it. And since Good Smile Racing came out victorious in 2017 too, that makes this Miku a winner in every single way. 3. Snow Miku, Snow Princess version. But wait a minute, didn't I say last year that glowing Snow Miku is my second favorite Snow Miku? So what's Snow Princess doing a bit higher above her? Being one of the best Figmas I've laid my eyes on, that's what. The design doesn't lose any of its grace, even if the hair looks just a little bit shorter than it should, but there's a bit of a symmetrical flowing illusion that I like. Now trade that bouquet of blue roses for a white one with an infinitely better bow and give her a masquerade mask, and you've got a Figma worth keeping. I also really like the upgraded look Rabbit Chukine was given. 2. Snow Miku, Grand Voyage version. Everything I love about her is done its best for her Figma, and I mean it, because the expressions and attitude are crucial to me, so it's nice that she can still do them with a full-size body. The sunglasses are still there too, not sure why they feel the need to add an upper body piece without the jacket, but whatever, it's still great. And there were some other things I left out of the Nindoroid video that I get to talk about here, like the obvious crab influences and how this is my personal favorite Rabbit Chukine design. Actual crab and all. Hail to the queen of the winter seas, but not really, because as awesome as this Snow Miku is, she's still not my favorite. There's just one more that I'd say is absolutely perfect for the concept of a Snow Miku. Meaning that number 1 is Snow Miku Snow Owl version, the best Miku Figma by default. Yippee! Sorry if this is an underwhelming topic, but dude, she's awesome. You don't get it, even if the button eyes aren't actual buttons this time, but that cutesy swagger is still there, baby. She can ski, go snowboarding, and there's no snowballs or injured face like the Nindoroid, and I kinda like the Nendo's opaque goggles better, but whatever, Rabbit Chukine still has her own skis too, and as much as I love how well this Snow Miku works for the winter fun meant to be symbolized from the start, let alone 2016's winter sport theme, I think she's just as perfect for the idea of what makes a Figma a Figma. They're posable and can change faces like Nindoroids, but they're more dynamic thanks to the bigger bodies with articulated joints. So why not take advantage of that with the sports gear? Not to discredit the diversity found in the Figma lineup, because these things really copy their sources' art styles. Sometimes they even make Figmas out of real-life paintings and sculptures in all their uncensored glory. But since I'm limiting myself to Miku and her friends, I must conclude that Snow Miku is simply the best of her kind. But I never know what to expect with Figmas, so maybe one day there'll be a new best, even if Vocaloids aren't common targets for the Figma treatment, so it's just the racing and Snow Mikus for now. Wait a minute, where's Strawberry White Kimono Miku? Yeah, she's the only Snow Miku without a Figma for some reason. And you know Racing Miku 2023's Figma will come out right after this video's posted like her Nindoroid was, so if you're curious, she's number 52 in the full ranking. Magical Mirai 2022 is number 44 and Happy 16th Birthday version is number 67. But for now that's about it. I ranked all the Figmas, so be sure to join me next time, where I decide if the pop-up parade figures are distinct enough to get their own video or not, and I group them with all the other full-scale Vocaloid figures. That'll be fun.